Welcome back to our next indie horror game, Nice Walk. This game absolutely refuses to full screen. Alt enter doesn't work. Disabling the full screen optimization doesn't work. So we're going to have to run this one in a window. My trusty Splatterhouse wallpaper there. So here we go. Oh, also, the itch.io page for this game, in the description, it said the developer recently moved back to the childhood home that they grew up in, and doing that brought up some memories, so they made this game on that basis. So let's see what we got here. Maybe taking a walk will help you feel better. Press E to interact. Alright. What we got here? Deep forest. Can't go that way. Alright. Down the path we go. Oh, here we go. What is this? What is that? An ant bed. You were playing outside and stepped in one of these. Your mom grabbed you and dusted the ants off as quickly as she could, but they had already bitten into your skin. It hurt so badly. You cried your eyes out, covered in hundreds of little ant bites. Yeah, those little bastards can be nasty when you accidentally step on their house. I was out in my backyard last summer cutting my grass, and I ran over a nest of what I'm pretty sure were carpenter ants, and they quite literally chased me back into my house and convinced me that I didn't need to cut the grass that day. They bit the shit out of me too. Those little fuckers hurt because they're not small. The path is blocked. Dad should have an axe beside the house that you can borrow. Okay. There we go. An axe. One time you and your brother tried to chop down a tree down in your front yard. Your dad hurried outside and yelled at you to stop. Honestly, what were you expecting to happen? You shouldn't have even tried. Well, yeah, I mean, you know, he didn't want you to get hurt. What in the hell was that? Did that say hello in a really creepy ass sing-song voice, or was that just a sound? Because it sounded like hello. That's pretty weird. Oh, there's a new thing here. What is this? A cell phone. You texted your girlfriend and asked her if it was weird to dress up as a girl. She said, yeah, that's weird. You didn't tell her then, but it had really cut you deep. You didn't bring it up again. Oh, I get it. He was having confused feelings about his gender identity, and he asked his girlfriend, and she indirectly dumped all over him about it. Which really, yeah, I mean, I get it. I can relate to the feeling, not in the regard of, you know, potentially trying to figure out if you're transgender for a totally different reason, in my case. Okay. That's definitely a voice now. Why is everything turning red? What the fuck is happening? What the fuck? What? Why is everything going red? What in the hell? What the fuck is that? I don't know what's happening. I don't know whether we should break through that, or... because that wasn't there when we went back to get the axe. Everything's going all... okay, it looks like it stopped progressing. Alright, hell with it. There we go. I don't know what that was about. Interact. Yeah, that's the transgender flag on that log. That's what was going on. Sometimes it feels like this place wants to kill you. All the memories twist together into a blur. You don't know where the new you sits within those memories. It can be terrifying to confront, like cutting into something raw and deep. But maybe right here, this is where the new you is able to exist. And if so, that's okay. You're going to be okay. Aw. I like that a lot. I I get it, man. You can't you can't base your happiness on the validation of others. It's perfectly natural for people to seek the acceptance of, people that they're close to, but you can't literally base your happiness on that solely, because it's only going to lead to, pain and misery. I mean, I can relate to it in a totally different situation than that. I mean, all right, I'm just gonna tell you the story. I'll try to talk fast so this video doesn't end up being half an hour long. Um, Somewhere around 2012 or so, one of my friends called me, and he was absolutely laughing his ass off. He couldn't even breathe. What he had called to tell me was so hilarious to him. And what he had called to tell me was that Hasbro had rebooted the My Little Pony cartoon, and that there were grown men watching it and genuinely enjoying it. And I'm going to be totally honest with you. When he first told me that, the first thing I thought was, it's over. There are grown-ass dudes watching My Little Pony. The whole goddamn world, it's gone tits up. And then I just forgot about it for like 2 years. It just didn't stick in my memory. It wasn't important. I had a lot of shit going on back then. It just wasn't a thing that I committed to thinking about all the time. And about 2 years after that, I was living in a different place, and it was a very dark mental time for me. I was living in a place where I was absolutely made to feel like I wasn't wanted there at all. Just, attacked all the time over nothing. And I was sinking. I'm not gonna lie about that. I was very, very dark days. Those were, and every day I lost a little bit more hope. I didn't have a job at the time, so I was stuck. Living in this place where I wasn't wanted, with people who didn't want me there. And then I was just sitting in the dark one night, and it just randomly popped back into my memory, And I think I ran across it by accident or something. One of the episodes of the the My Little Pony reboot that started in 2010. It's Friendship is Magic, Generation 4. And I was just like, well, hell with it, I'm gonna watch one and see. Just, I've got nothing else to do, why not? So I watched the first episode, and then it just kept happening. Like a couple hours later, I was, like halfway through the first season. And the really significant thing was that I realized that I was actually happy. Genuinely happy inside for the first time in a very long time. And that show it created a very special place in my spirit and in my heart, and that place is always going to belong to that program. But here's the part that relates to non-acceptance. For a long time, I hid the fact that I was watching it, or had become, part of the brony culture, as they call it, from, all of the people that were close to me. Because I was still basing my happiness on whether or not they would accept that. And I couldn't see, I was like, well, what if I tell them and they think it's weird, And they won't want to be my friends anymore. And then one day I woke up and I realized, you know what? If those people disconnect themselves from you because you found hope in a very dark place in your life, in what should be a cartoon for 8-year-old girls, then they were never your friends in the first place. They never cared about you to begin with. So what do you care if they go? And it was right. So I stopped hiding it. And it wasn't incorrect. People that called themselves my friends acted super weird around me. One of them I had been friends with for over a decade acted like it was totally weird. And I tried to explain it to him. I tried to tell him the same story that I just told you. That this show got in my head in the midst of deep darkness, and it brought me out of it, and that's why it was special to me. And he didn't give a shit. It didn't matter at all. He couldn't see past his own closed-minded, ignorant bullshit. I was like, let me explain it, and maybe it'll make sense. And I remember exactly what the son of a bitch said. Well, why do we have to talk about it? And that was it. I was done. Like, that wasn't the immediate end of the friendship. He didn't know it, but that was the beginning of the end. I started, distancing myself from him internally at that exact moment. And I get it. I had another friend, and she didn't act weird about it, but her boyfriend did. And I tried to tell her that he was doing it, and she couldn't see him because he did it when she wasn't around, so she thought I was making it up. And then I ended up not talking to her for a long time because of that. I realize that is not at all even on the same planet as, trying to figure out your gender identity confusion, but the sentiment is the same. You can't base, you do you, you do what makes you happy, what makes you comfortable, what makes you feel right, and you don't base your happiness on the judgment of the small, closed-minded people. You can't do that, because you're gonna make yourself miserable, and those people will make you miserable at the same time. Because I found hope in something so simple, and the people that allegedly cared about me, instead of being happy for me, they wanted to drag me down and be as miserable as they were. And that's exactly, I'm rambling, I know, but it's just, don't do it. Don't, you can't, you gotta do you for yourself, man. You don't let the judgment of other people, take what you feel like your happiness should be away from you. You can't base that shit on other people, because they're just gonna, I mean, if they truly care about you, they won't do that. But if you know, like the girlfriend example in the, she made him feel like a weirdo and told him that, having those feelings was weird. Like, that's just, you do you for yourself. You don't let other people dictate where you find your happiness. But I'm gonna shut up now because that was a pretty long story. But um, I hope that made sense. I hope I wasn't just randomly babbling right there. But I'm trying to relate, that experience to the same sentiment in a completely different scenario. But that was a good game. That actually made an impact on me because it brought all the feelings from my experience with the same non-acceptance of from people that were supposed to be close to me, who were supposed to care about me, and then all of a sudden they're showing what their true face really was. Uh, but that was a good game. That's very emotionally impactful. I like that a lot. But that was a nice walk. Thank you for watching that. The link for that is down in the description. Like that if you liked it, just like it if you didn't. I'll see you in the next game.